All right, let's dig into something truly fascinating today. We're talking about a strategy, I mean, it's as old as power itself, really. One that offers this, immense influence, but comes with an equally immense and totally unforgiving risk, the art of playing both sides. For this deep dive, we're zeroing in on a really powerful segment from Gerson Torres' Coffee Talk, specifically one titled The Paradox of Playing Both Sides. And our mission really is to unpack the core contradiction, the pull, the allure of this high stakes game, and then the brutal, often unseen consequences that follow. You're going to see why, for those who try it, success can mean legend status, but failure means you're just erased.
Totally. It's really interesting, isn't it, how this idea, you often think spies, maybe political games, but actually it touches on much deeper things like power, trust, and just basic human nature, really. The implications, they go way beyond history books or, international relations. You see it in politics, business, even, surprisingly perhaps, in close personal relationships. Families, friendships. It's a strategy that's fundamentally about influence, and I suppose about survival, in a way.
Okay, so it sounds incredibly tempting. How does Coffee Talk actually describe someone doing this? The book uses this amazing image, existing as a shadow caught between two flames. What does that look like, practically speaking?
Well, it means you're operating in this gray area.
Yeah.
Deliberately ambiguous. You're not fully on team A, not fully on team B, but you're connected enough to gain some sort of influence. Terrace puts it perfectly. Speaking softly to rulers and at the same time sharing meals with their foes.
Yeah.
So you're leveraging information, relationships, maybe perceived loyalty, but without ever truly committing yourself. And the perceived benefits seem obvious, right? The source mentions additional information, increased leverage, even a feeling of greater strength. It sort of creates this illusion that you're the master puppeteer, seemingly safe above the actual fight.
Yeah, that sounds like the ultimate power move, doesn't it? Being above it all, pulling the strings. But like you hinted, Coffee Talk gives this stark warning. It says this perceived control is merely that a delusion. Why is that illusion so incredibly dangerous? What's the catch?
Right, and this really gets to the core of it because the consequences aren't just bad, they're absolute. Book is blunt. Once either party senses treachery, the game concludes. That's it. No do-overs, no negotiating your way out. And the way people see you, it shifts instantly, devastatingly. You're not clever anymore, not strategic. As Torres writes, you are perceived as a betrayer.
Ah, a betrayer, not just an opponent.
Exactly. That's such a critical distinction. And Torres really drives this point home with something quite chilling. People are more afraid of traitors than they are of foes. Think about it. An enemy is, well, an enemy. Outside, a known threat usually. But a betrayer, that shatters trust. And trust is like the invisible glue holding everything together, from friendships right up to nations. So betraying that trust, it's seen as a much deeper violation. It wounds the very fabric of relationships, which I think explains why the fallout is so total.
That distinction between a foe and a betrayer, that really hits home. We can talk about this abstractly, but like you said, this isn't just theory. This tactic has played out so many times in the real world, often with, well, terrible results. Can you give us some concrete examples? How does this paradox actually show up?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, think historically. You could look at certain Cold War situations, right, where maybe superpowers were covertly funding both sides in a conflict somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or think about the complex alliances in Renaissance Italy. City-states constantly shifting who they backed. And in a more modern context, the book mentions things like CEOs contribute to rival political campaigns.
They're hedging their bets.
Exactly. It's a way to try and guarantee access, influence, no matter who wins. But it inherently blurs those lines of loyalty, doesn't it? And it's not just on that grand political or business stage. Torres makes a point of saying how families, friendships, even revolutions have been fractured by individuals who believe they could manage both sides. It seems to be this deeply ingrained human tendency, maybe, to seek that perceived edge, even when the risk is just immense.
And that brings us smack bang into the heart of the contradiction that Coffee Talk highlights so starkly. It basically boils down to this, right? You succeed, you dictate the game, you are defeated, you are wiped out. There's just no middle ground, no soft landing. It's an all-or-nothing bet with, well, existential stakes.
Yeah, the absolute nature of it is what's so striking. Torres really emphasizes that people trying this, they're walking this incredibly fine line. It just takes one stumble, one drip, one secret, and it's finished.
Just one slip-up.
One slip-up. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, like legacy, well, it's brutal. The source says, nobody recalls the clever double agent who nearly succeeded, just the individual who was apprehended.
Oh,
Yeah. The cost of failure isn't just losing the game, it's total erasure. Strategically, historically, personally, you're not even remembered as someone who tried something bold. You're just the one who got caught.
So the message seems pretty clear. If you're ever tempted, to play this game, the core warning from Coffee Talk is just stark, uncompromising. You could succeed and change the world. However, if you fail, you're a doomed individual.
Well,
Wow.
sort of profound paradox we've kind of unpacked today. This incredible, almost world-altering potential for gain on one hand,
All right.
and then juxtaposed with this absolute certainty of just ruin if you mess up. It really is like walking a high wire with absolutely no safety net below. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What does this whole paradox reveal about the nature of risk itself, and maybe the intoxicating cost of ambition, and just how incredibly fragile that line is between thinking you're in control and then facing devastating exposure in any kind of high-stakes situation,
Yeah.
really. It's a stark reminder that, yeah, some games only have two outcomes, and both are just monumental.
Indeed. So maybe the question to leave everyone with is, what does this deep dive into playing both sides mean for how you understand trust, loyalty, and maybe those hidden power dynamics playing out all around you? Definitely something to chew on.